Mississippi's been losing people for as long as anyone can remember. More people have been leaving our state than arriving, particularly young people who have tended to go to Dallas or to Nashville or to Florida for jobs and opportunities. Except that image of Mississippi might not be true any longer. Recently released data by the federal census bureaucrats showed that between 2010 and 2020, far from the population of Mississippi falling, as they initially thought, the population of Mississippi seems to have grown. Initially, when the feds produced this report, they suggested that Mississippi was one of only 3 states in America where the population shrank. Now they've revised their numbers. They think that actually, far from losing 6,000 people, our state saw a net increase in the number of Mississippians of 120,000. If these latest numbers are accurate, I think we're seeing a historic change in the fortunes of our state. The old image of Mississippi as being a state that people leave is wrong. Over the past 30 or 40 years, the southern United States has seen the most extraordinary growth. Small cities like Atlanta, Georgia, have become vast metropolises. Nashville is booming. Texas and Florida are huge economic success stories. But of course, there's been one exception, and that is Mississippi. Mississippi has stubbornly remained 50th out of 50 states by an awful lot of indicators. I think this might be about to change. I think Mississippi today might be in a situation rather analogous with the situation that the Republic of Ireland was in the late 1970s. Late 1970s Ireland had been a country that had stagnated economically. It had seen very little economic growth, and its politics had been dominated by what you might call a closed cartel. In the 1980s that began to change, and Ireland, that for many years had grown slowly, began to prosper. In fact, Ireland grew so fast she became known as the Celtic Tiger. I think we might see something similar with Mississippi. For decades, politics in Mississippi has been dominated by a cartel. For as long as anyone can remember, you need somebody else's permission to do even the most basic economic activity in this state. If we can sweep away those cartels, not just the cartels that control the Mississippi economy, but the cartels that control the healthcare system and the education system, I think we could really unleash Mississippi's potential. I think we could be on the cusp of some really exciting change. And as a recent arrival in Mississippi, I know why it is that people would be attracted to come here. It is an extraordinarily wonderful state. But there are an awful lot of things that leaders in the state could do. Cutting taxes, reducing regulation, cutting red tape, to make it even easier for more Americans to come here and call this great state their home.